Hey everyone, I'm Ryan, you're watching 60 Cycle Hum, and in this video, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I think, and everything I think you probably wanna know about Yamaha's new Revstar reboot. This is model number RSS20, it is from the standard line, and I'm calling it a reboot because they have changed significant core details in the construction and concept of this guitar. It's got stainless steel frets, guys, all the way down. Every single fret is stainless steel. The neck has carbon fiber supports in it. The body is chambered, and across the electronics, you have 10 different pickup settings. I'm gonna get into all that. I'm gonna show off all 10 pickup settings, but first I wanna go tip to tail with this guitar and talk about every single feature. So we'll start with the headstock, which I actually really like. I'm a big fan of this headstock shape. It kind of hints back at early funky Yamaha designs that I'm also, a big fan of. So I appreciate that they're going that direction with it. I love this little sharp uptick right there to grab your eye, and then you get this kind of almost like mid-century, tiki kind of vibe with the way it's kind of like asymmetrical and rounded out there, a little bit of like a Gumby sort of thing. But I really like the lines. This is me talking as a graphic designer right now. I like the lines of the headstock. It's fun. It's a fun shape, and I like the glossy black sort of thing contrasting against a colorful body. The tuners are fine on it. They're nothing exceptional. They're nothing terrible. They're nice and smooth and stable and fully modern. They're not locking or anything like that, but honestly, I never miss it. Except for when I'm doing string changes, I never miss locking tuners when I don't have them on a guitar. As long as the tuner is stable and firm, then I'm into it, and there's nothing wrong with these tuners. The nut, some sort of synthetic material here. I'm not totally sure what that is. It's a black plasticky sort of nut. Probably some sort of graphite-y thing or something like that. I don't know. I don't have any problems with it. This guitar is set up really, really nice. It plays super duper fast. I've had zero issues going out of tune when, chording or, plucking anything anywhere on the neck. So I'm going to assume that the nut is set up just fine. I've had no tuning stability issues or anything like that. And a lot of that might actually come from those carbon fiber supports. Actually, something that I do on guitars that don't have wiggle sticks, it happens sometimes, is I'll strum, a big chord. And then I want a little bit of vibrato. So I'll hold the body and I'll push against the back of the neck and get a little bit of a dive that way. Not with this guitar. The first time I tried to do that, I was like, oh, yeah, there's carbon fiber supports in here. It's gonna be a really stiff neck. So I pressed a little bit harder, still nothing. I pressed even a little bit harder, and I started to get a little bit of a vibrato dive. And at that point, I was like, it's not worth it. That's not what this guitar does. But anyways, if you're looking for a guitar with a super duper stable neck, this has it. Major string gauge changes, I think are gonna do fine on this guitar. Humidity changes, temperature changes, I think it's gonna be very, very resilient to all that sorts of stuff. The frets, let's talk about the frets. They're stainless steel frets, and they are dressed wonderfully, absolutely wonderfully. Even for a guitar of this price point, I think these are going street $799. Is that correct? I'll flash up some prices from retailers on the screen here. But yeah, the frets are really, really good. Even compared to other guitars in this price point, they have a really nice round, smooth ball end on them. Really nice glossy polish on there. They're not, the most mirror polished frets I've ever experienced. But you don't need them to be that way. They're plenty slippery. There's no, kind of grittiness or chalkiness or anything like that. They're wonderful. This is a wonderful guitar to play as far as the neck goes, and honestly everything else. We'll get to that. The neck is very comfortable in my hand. Kind of a modern, I'm guessing a C shape. I'm not always 100% correct with shapes of necks, but it's a nice round, modern feeling neck. It's not hyper thin, it's not hyper full. It's just right there in that sweet spot where I think a lot of people are going to be able to connect to this neck just fine. And yeah, the way the frets are dressed, they just disappear. I love it. rosewood fretboard on there, inlays that I actually really like the look of, really nice, balanced, kind of modern looks all around with this. Onto the body. The body is chambered, and Yamaha makes all sorts of big claims in their marketing materials about, like specifically designing the chambering to lend to very specific tolerances with resonance and feel and acoustic qualities and whatnot. I don't know. I am not a chambering scientist in any way. I don't know how any of that stuff works, but I can say that the guitar is of a comfortable weight. I weighed this one at 8 pounds, 6 ounces, and it's very resonant and pleasurable to play. It has that sort of like lightly resonant, snappy sort of feel where you can feel the guitar resonating against your chest, against your diaphragm. You can feel it kind of resonating into your femur and whatnot. You can feel it as you're playing through the neck and through the frets and whatnot. It is a guitar that, through science, apparently, feels very alive and responsive and downright pleasurable. This is a pleasurable guitar to play. I've been having a great time with it. I honestly have. I'll try not to gush too much until I get maybe to the end of the video. But yeah, like right off the bat, I'm into this guitar. The pickups, I vaguely remember in the copy for the guitar them saying something like they tried like 50 different pairs of pickups with this model of guitar and did all this work to pair them down and find very specific sounds that they were looking for. I don't know about that either. I wasn't there for that. But what I can say is that I like the pickups. They're voiced in a way that I really enjoy. I like humbucker pickups that have quite a bit of personality to them. They have quite a bit of like high-end character going on. I mean like, high frequency character, not like high end isn't like cost or anything like that. But the bridge pickup has this kind of like bright but mid-pushed barky sort of thing going on. It's like a twangy humbucker. There's twang going on with this humbucker. The neck pickup has a nice round smooth bottom end and a pretty like jangly sparkle on the top end, and they combine together really, really nicely. They work great for various sounds, especially across all the different pickup settings that we have here. I like them. I honestly don't know what's different about them compared to any other pickup, but I do like the way they are voiced. The hardware on here is all very standard. It's a tune-o-matic setup. I don't see anything about it that is, especially incredible, but there's nothing about it that I'm like, oh yeah, there's, this looks cheap. It looks good quality. How do you judge the quality of a tune-o-matic setup? I don't know. We can talk about the finish on this guitar really quick. I like it. I like it a lot. I was in between this one and the white one, and I'm glad I got this one. It has a really fun, kind of like vintage vibe to it. It reminds me of like the brown glassware my parents had around in the early 80s. It was probably from like the mid to late 70s or something like that. Also looks like, like tinted aviator glasses. I think it's a fun look. And it's got just enough wood grain in there to kind of sparkle and catch the light in an iridescent, fun kind of way. The pickguard is a 3-ply pickguard, black, some sort of mint or cream, and then black again. I would kind of like to take a scouring pad to this pickguard to get that vintage kind of worn in matte finish. Black pickguard, I think that would look really attractive on this. What do you guys think? Right now as it is, it shows off, like fingerprints and stuff pretty decently, as in, more than I would like. But I think a matte finish on that black pickguard would look really classy on this guitar. Age it in a little bit. All right, now let's talk about all the different pickup settings, and then I'll start playing. I promise it won't be all talking in this video. So you have a 5-way switch here. That's how you get your first 5 settings. You have your bridge, you have middle, which is both, and then you have neck, and then your number 2 and your number 4 are out of phase settings. And they're not over the top, like wacky, almost completely starve you of volume out of phase settings. They're slightly out of phase, giving you a bit of that hollow, kind of nasal vowel character quack that you get with very lightly dialed in out of phase sounds. And then to duplicate that, to get you up to 10 different settings, you have a push-pull here. It doesn't do coil cuts, which would be kind of fun. I can see myself in the future doing a mod to put that on the volume knob here, do coil cuts with these pickups. And it's not like series parallel or anything like that. It is a passive boost, which is a very interesting concept. From what my ears tell me, it's taking the high end off of the pickups and it's turning that high end into lows and low mids to give you this output boost. And it's very effective at fattening up kind of like chuggy stuff or giving you this instant kind of like dark, jazzy sort of sound. It's interesting. It's a very interesting concept. And there's certainly a lot of usable range there across just the normal 5-way selector here, and then adding in quite a bit of beef and quite a bit of heft with that push pull. So let's turn on some amps and get started. All right, I'm gonna play through my 2 Princeton's rig because of course I am, and I have my pedal board down here. I'll call out pedals as I use them, but we'll start off clean and go through all the pickup settings and then do a little bit of dirt and then maybe a lot of bit of dirt. So anyways, here is the bridge pickup. Plenty bright, but has a really nice tight kind of high mid quality to it, a nice bark. I don't know how hot they are. They don't sound or feel incredibly hot. I tend to not like pickups that are super duper hot because they get kind of muddy. I like a clearer, twangier sounding, high personality humbucker. I don't even know how I played that funky note. Right off the bat, something I love about this guitar, and I wasn't expecting to love it, is how strummable it feels. It has a really like strum-friendly thing going on, and it makes me want to work on my strumming chops. It makes me want to work on my rhythm chops. Of course, it can do lead. It's a very fast guitar up and down the neck, but there's something about it where it's just dialed in perfect, and it's very fun and resonant for like strummy stuff. It's pretty, it's articulate, it's bright, it's twangy, and then you pull out that boost. Back to the unboosted setting. It gets significantly darker. It really is like an instant jazz setting when you're dialed in clean. And this is on the bridge pickup, so you know on the neck pickup it's going to be even darker than that. All right, on to the number 2 setting here, the out of phase sound. There it is. There is that nasal, like high vowel sort of quack. Quick comparison to just the bridge pickup by itself. Back to the number 2. Far from being the most extreme example of an out-of-phase sound that I've, encountered. But it definitely has that character to it. Let's try that with the passive boost. This is a fast guitar, and it's just so comfortable to play fast on it. It's really one of those guitars that's gonna get me in trouble when I play it live, because I'm gonna do way more than I should be doing. But yeah, extremely comfortable, extremely easy to play. It plays like ringing a bell. I don't say that about every guitar, but I can absolutely definitely say it about this guitar. It's just effortless. It just feels like, yeah, I'm just playing. I can just play whatever like my mind can come up with, whatever my fingers want to do, I can just do it because it is dialed in so nicely and so comfortable. On to the middle pickup setting here. It's both pickups together, like you would expect from a two humbucker guitar. This is the strummy setting. It's just a really nice blend between that quacky, mid-focused, like kind of barky is the word I keep using, bridge pickup, and that like round, smooth bottomed, but bright, chimey, high-end neck pickup. Apparently, I've got the peppers on my mind. Say what you will about the peppers, but that is a fun little part to play. Here it is with that boost engaged. On to the number 2 position. This is the other out of phase sound. Now this one has that same kind of hollow quackiness as that number 2 position. The bridge pickup out of phase with itself. But it's more of a low vowel, where the number 2, here it is a high vowel, like an E or an I. It feels like you're pushing forward with your tongue, you know? Where the number 4 position is a low vowel, like an O or U, you know? It's more like back of your throat. Does that make sense? Did the way I just described that make sense to anyone other than me? I think a lot of you will find that the out of phase and boosted sounds make a lot more sense when I bring in a little bit of drive. And what it does to those sounds is probably more usable for most of my viewers versus the very kind of pulled out and nasal clean sounds that I'm getting with the boost and with those out of phase sorts of sounds. Here it is with the boost. All right, on to the neck pickup. pretty. It's just a pretty sounding guitar across all the settings, but that neck pickup is... it just has something extra going on there that I really appreciate. It has that soft, round, full sound you expect from a neck pickup, but it also has quite a bit of this bright chime to it, this sparkle. There I go, get myself in trouble. Playing too much. Here it is with that boost. We're gonna get very jazzy with this set. A little bit of a dead note there. That's my fault, not the guitar's fault. On to some dirtier sounds. I'm going to use the Bell Overdrive by Wampler, which is a Noble style overdrive. Here is the bridge pickup with the boost off. Nice and crispy. Now you'll really hear how this boost works great with overdrive sounds like that, because that's nice and crispy and crunchy, but you might not always want that sound, but you still want the response of a bridge pickup. You pull this out, and it instantly transforms you from bright and crunchy to like chuggy. It fattens up your leads. It's more than like a low boost, because it could just be like, oh, you could just roll back your tone or whatever. It's taking those highs and it's turning them into lows and mids, and it's pushing them. You're getting this push of mids, which changes the gain character. It changes the way the clipping is happening. Back to bright. It's a fun feature. I don't think everyone is going to love it. I don't think everyone's going to care about it. But I think if you have it in your arsenal, you're going to use it. You're going to find moments where you're like, yeah, I'm going to use that low mid boost thing. Let's quickly go through the other pickup settings. Here is the number 2 out of phase. Boost. I think the boost is really great paired with the out of phase settings too, because you lose quite a bit of mids and lows when you're out of phase, and you can get some of those back. You can fill it back out, but still have that hollow kind of quacky nasal thing happening. On to the middle setting. that middle setting, like, it's pretty, it's strummy, it's crunchy, but then you engage that boost and it just gets heavy. I will say too that on other guitars that I've covered over the years, I've complained that push-pull pots can be really stiff and hard to grab. These knobs have a nice kind of like knurl on the edge of them. They're kind of like a Gretschy style knob. And that push-pull is actually really easy to grab. I haven't had a single moment where I've been like, oh man, I can't get it. It's easy to flick it on and off. So I appreciate that. Maybe there's some component variance there and other people will get one that has a stiff push-pull, but I got one that isn't. So I'm pretty happy about that. Here is the number 4 position. That low vowel, out of phase sound. Here it is with the boost. Same as the other setting, it buys you back quite a bit of those lows and those mids that you might be missing with the out of phase. And here is the neck. See what happens when I roll the tone back too. So yeah, a ton of versatility across a 2 humbucker guitar, 10 different settings, and they all have something to offer. There's nothing there that I'm like, oh yeah, you don't really need that there. Like, I'm gonna use all of it. I'm honestly really, really excited to use this guitar in a live setting. I'm gonna be playing this Sunday at church with this guitar, absolutely. And actually, like I'm about to get in my final thoughts here. This is it, final thoughts, guys. Actually, there's a whole bunch of guitars on the wall across from me here. They look worried. They're sweating a little bit. All the 2 humbucker guitars are looking at this guitar and they're like, oh, I don't think he loves us anymore. This is honestly, I think, going to become my go-to guitar to grab for demos, like pedal and amp demos and stuff like that, where I need a double humbucker guitar, because it has a couple features. One, it's incredibly comfortable and easy to play. Like I mentioned earlier, it's like ringing a bell. 2, it sounds great. It offers a lot of different sounds, and it offers sounds that I actually like playing with. It doesn't sound dead or muddy in the way humbuckers can sometimes. It's bright. It's got a lot of personality to the sound. It's resonant and it's sparkly. It's deep if it wants to be. It's chimey and twangy if it wants to be. And these strings aren't brand new, by the way. I've been playing this guitar for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. Almost every day I've been getting to know this guitar. So these strings aren't, these strings aren't giving a false kind of brightness. This is what it sounds like. The strings are broken in. And it looks good. I think this looks really good on camera, especially against that blue background. So yeah, there's a couple things there that are gonna make me choose this guitar fairly often on this channel. I've got the Strat, and I've got the Jazzmaster, and now I've got this, and I think that might be like my trifecta of ideal guitars for demoing amps and pedals and whatnot on this channel. I mean, if I need a telly, then I've got the Jennings. And there's, if I am doing an Affordaboard video, then I've got Afforda guitars that I'll use. If I'm doing, very specific, like surf-oriented thing, then I might grab my Jazzmaster or my Hallmark or something like that. But when I think about the core guitars that I'm going to use from video to video, where it's like a no-brainer, I'm going to grab it. Yeah. So there's my official endorsement. I don't like to think of this channel as a review channel. I think of it as a demo channel, a demonstration channel. But I'm willing to call that a review. That's a positive review. And I know I'm gushing right now, and I know I'm going on and on and on, but I'm feeling it. I'm really feeling it with this guitar. So yeah, excellent work, Yamaha. I've tried previous Revstars in the past at stores and at events and things like that, and I thought they were great. But everything that they did, the stainless steel frets, that carbon fiber in the neck, the chambering, that pickup selection stuff, it's pushed it over the edge to extra special, as far as I'm concerned. And just like the finishing details and the way the frets are dressed and stuff like that. Like, I haven't found anything about this guitar that stuck out as, oh man, I wish they'd done that different, or that's a little unfortunate, or something like that. I will say that I might open up the guts at some point and see if I can install a coil cut, a coil split, to get single coil sounds out of this for when I'm playing it live and I want that single coil twang. But it's not really necessary. That would be wild though. It would take it from 10 pickup settings to 20, because it would double everything. A 20 pickup setting guitar with 2 pickups. But yeah. What do you guys think? I've gushed enough. I try not to gush this much in videos, but when, a product earns it, I might as well give it its due. What do you guys think of the guitar? What do you think of the sounds? Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, dislike, leave me rude, nasty comments, support us on Patreon, buy a shirt if you're naked. If you're shopping for this or anything else, please consider using my affiliate links in the description down below. I always have general links down there that you can use to go buy anything, and it helps me make a living. It helps me put diapers on the table and food over our heads. Also, some people really enjoy hanging out in the Premiere chats when I launch the videos. The video runs, and the entire time we get to have a chat window where we sit and talk to each other, and it's kind of like a little bit of a director's commentary or a social time where we get to chat about stuff that's off topic while we're enjoying watching the video and stuff like that. It's honestly like one of my favorite things about running a channel like this is getting to interact with everyone and have the community and get to know the regulars that show up to watch every single video. It's extremely rewarding for me, and I think everyone else has a great time doing it too. So yeah, check that out. And otherwise, stay grounded. Bye, everybody.